Hi, everybody, and welcome to Red Wings Rant. It's where tirades and impassion pleas for your Detroit Red Wings. They finally have a home.
Yeah. And you know what else? There's a home for Showtime.
Showtime. Nice.
Yeah,
That's where I was going.
Woo! Are you wearing a Showtime jersey? What do you got on?
I got Lucas Raymond. He's my boy. I don't have a Showtime jersey, but they do have on the Shop Hockey Town. They have that jersey is on sale. So I was thinking about picking one up. Why not?
I'm thinking about getting me a little fake Tiger jersey here from a place that would prefer that we don't advertise, but I just want you guys to know I have a party. Ken Young, first comment. What's up, buddy?
What's up, Ken?
Welcome to the Red Wings Showtime revival. The playoffs are still alive. They're still alive.
Ken says, bring it, fellas. We're going to bring it because we're going to talk about stolen points in Dallas. Kane going off.
Yes.
Mike also teased out the season still being alive. Let's go.
Guess what, Ken? They, with that win, our odds of making the playoffs are now at 69%. We did it.
Woo!
Yeah.
The goal every season.
Yep. Just be 69th.
So I do have a slide that actually details the standings, but I realized there's days in between from when I make the slides in this moment right now. So we're just going to go to NHL.com and we'll utilize their standings function.
That's
here.
Fair.
Yeah. All right. So in the mix here, this 82 points, because it's worth mentioning with the Blue Jackets that they could also jump into the Metro here. Pittsburgh, 83 points, 67 games played. Islanders, 83 points, 68 games played. Also a 68 games played is Boston and Detroit. We both have 82 points. We are currently holding the number 1 and 2 wild card spots. Oh, we should toss in Montreal because we're going to see Montreal tomorrow. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, it's going to be later tonight. Montreal with 67 games played and 84 points. Mike, you have, not you. You're not on the team.
No.
But Red Wings fans, we have a great opportunity with you take a look at these regulation wins. You could win tomorrow. Let me back up here because Montreal's got a game in hand. All right, so you have to win regardless, but Montreal's still going to hold a game in hand. But you could tie Montreal in points. And have those extra regulation wins, which you're going to need them to compete with Boston, who has 27 regulation wins to your 26, and regulation overtime wins. You actually you have Boston beat on that one. But Mike, officially, Mike, if you go by points percentage, we're out.
Oh,
Columbus has us, Mike. By points percentage, which you'd basically just say, okay, let's roll out these points percentages to the end of the season. There's not enough games to actually make a difference, but Columbus would walk away with that playoff spot. They have 67 games played and 81 points. They are, Mike, take a look at this. 6-0-4 in their last 10. They know what's up. Columbus is like, we are going to die in overtime or win these games. And it's helping them because now they've caught up. I'm gonna call it. We are out of the playoffs at this point, even though the stupid NHL standings go by points. By points percentage, Columbus has us beat.
Well, we have time, and if you are only playing the road schedule that we just did, which was pretty tough, on the road in Dallas, on the road in Tampa. Florida, even though they're not quite at the peak of their powers, tough game. And New Jersey, not very good, but there got to be somebody on the schedule. Now this is it. This is your chance. I mean, you're literally playing the most important games of the season at the end of the season with all the same teams that are jockeying for the same 2 spots, man. I haven't taken a peek at it at a few of the slides coming up, but I mean, it's Montreal tomorrow, Saturday, Boston, and then next week Tuesday is Ottawa. Home, home, home. This is your time. It's your time, if we can quote Kurt Russell in Miracle. Yeah, I mean, I was a little nervous seeing that 1-0 after, I think it was after the first period yesterday or Monday. And then thank God we just came storming out. And Patrick Kane, I don't know, got in a time machine at intermission and decided, hey, how about I carry us to victory here and try to get us closer to actually being in one of these playoff games here. Yeah, it's, you got a chance, right? I know that we're going to have a little bit of a tough time, obviously, without Larkin. But as we're going to call him secret producer of the show, Dan B is saying, Whiskey, you get a producer credit, Dan. I'm sorry, not yet. Whiskey saying Cop coming back early. Cop coming back early. That's not going to be tomorrow, is it?
I don't know. It says Cop coming back early as a statement. So let's look at. I mean, we're here. We can look it up on X.
And MBN were both skating. Boy, we need some help there. But a few more comments here. Dan B saying, I was told this year we wouldn't be relying on other teams to lose. That is exactly what you're going to be doing, Dan. Hope you're buckled in for the annual tradition of hoping other teams fall apart. Brian, welcome aboard, buddy. Saying, hey, you rant rods. March swoon. Enough already.
That'd be nice. Maybe Andrew Kopp coming back will help us out. This is Kevin Allen reporting. Player ahead of schedule on an injury recovery is not the same as a player returning to a lineup. Not even close. Is that the whole article? Oh my God, Kevin! What in God's name is this? Oh, okay. There's a read more button that he has hidden. Good gravy.
A professional.
Yeah. Got a little bit further down the road to recovery. Okay, great. Play the Montreal Canadiens on Thursday. That has nothing to do with Cop coming back. McClellan, I know Cop's chomping at the bit to get back and help his team out, McClellan said. So McClellan said, I know, okay, Kevin, get your shit together. This art, how did anybody edit this thing? So the sooner the better. Yeah, thanks, Todd. We know. Thanks, Kevin, for writing this useless article. Oh my God. Day to day for MBN.
Well, here's an important comment that was written. Jim Johnson is back, saying, you boys rock. We need to win at least 3 out of 4 at home. Sneezy saying, Cop has 8 goals. All of our scoring problems are solved.
Not yet. Not yet. Because it's not official yet, Sneezy. Our goal savior with 8 goals so far this year. Kevin Allen's article was just he's ahead of schedule. Did we ever know what the schedule was? Nope.
And Jared, of course, calling out Matt for reading a clickbait article. So thank you, Jared, for your usual contributions.
Thanks, Jared. That helps.
It made me laugh. Thanks, Jared. Well, Sneezy, you know that if you've been following this show for a little while, we've given Cop grief for years, but he's actually been pretty good this season, and feels like core surgery healing process is behind him, and he was integral to carrying that second line, even if it wasn't on the stat sheet, being the defensive presence, so the 2 goofballs on the wings can be forwards. Now, Whiskey dropping some more breaking news. I don't know which clickbait you're reading, Whiskey, but it's better than the one we found. Whiskey, boots on the ground somehow, saying Cop was full contact in practice today. Needs to clear medical, but it sure does sound like he'll be back in the next game or 2. That's because he's not just
Whiskey.
He's not just an athlete. He's a hockey player. He only needs the one kneecap.
Todd McClellan today gave us nothing. He's just like, yeah, he wants to come back. Thanks, Todd. Super helpful.
Yeah.
So does Dylan. Hey, you know what? These guys, I think they want to go to the playoffs this year. All right. Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it.
Breaking news. Well, where do we want to go with this, Matt? Because we had a pretty if you were on that season was on life support if they blew that Calgary game. It was just a flat line.
I would have put every player on that team on waivers. I would have been done. I would have, if I was Chris Ilitch, I would have said, you know what? Let's just sell this thing. So long, Steve. I mean, that was for all the joking we've done about the Red Wings being an AHL roster. That Calgary Flames team is a joke. They were terrible when they were put together at the start of the season, and they just kept losing pieces. But we do want to talk about that Calgary game and the Dallas game. Still a loss, but for sure, from what we had seen, you should have gone into Dallas and lost. And it's not anything where, without that Oettinger mistake, this even happens. You just lose, right? You lose 2-1. You won't go to overtime. It doesn't become 3-2. You lose 2-1. There's a nice play. We'll give the Wings that nice play to score at the end of the game, make it 2-2. But you got outplayed, and Dallas kind of let up. And with an Oettinger mistake, you sneak in. And the thing I wanted to call out about this was, one, it was nice that once they saw that goal go in, it was kind of a wake up call. And then again, even though Calgary blows, the offense kept rolling from that moment. So
yeah,
you got the game tire. Team played pretty hard. They actually played a pretty good overtime, except for Simon Edmondson's boneheaded, like, just what do I do with this? And it's like, I don't know. How about you play it like any defenseman would in the NHL? We got to play aggressive here. Watching that replay, it looked like he didn't know. Should I set up for a pass? I don't know what to do here, because he's looking at Gibson. He's trying to play the puck. What was that? Harley coming down? Bart Harley Jarvis, I think.
Yeah.
And what a tragedy it is that Dallas doesn't have Seth Jarvis to put together a Harley Jarvis line.
Well, I think, a play like that is okay when you know that the player is going to be even better than Quinn Hughes someday.
Right. So we're fine, because eventually Edvinsson will be so much better than Quinn Hughes. So that snafu is fine.
I do think the hockey gods kind of bailed us out with that one, because we were 0-1 from the Panthers game, because there's no way we should have had that kind of collapse.
That's where I wanted to go with that. Like, our history, our very recent last 2-3 years history, is that we just get our nuts handed to us, or we get goalied, or the bounces just continuously don't go our way. This is one where it kind of felt like you needed to be reminded, it's like the team needed to be reminded, it's not over yet, guys. There's still a shot here, because they were definitely content with just rolling out of there, no goals, getting shut out 2-0, and that one going in kind of just woke up. I'm hoping it woke up, not necessarily like the sleeping giant. It's not like, I'm expecting Patrick Kane to go off here, but yeah, he got a jump in his step, and maybe it was him, like, blood in the water. He is a shark, kind of thing. Like, oh, this is a ton of AHL guys, I'm just going to go to town here. But Mike, I will call out. We'll just keep rolling through these slides. McClellan throws it out there. He had his jump. Almost gets the hat trick. Gets the empty net shot blocked. Breakaway goal. All elite. Tip in from DeBrincat, from DeBrincat's pass from the point. All elite. Mike, the best part of this night.
Apologies to Kenny Omega, but go ahead. You
best
said
part
all
of
elite.
Yeah, I know. Best part of the whole night for Patrick Kane was on 2-on-1 chance. Kane had so much jump in his step. He got back there. I don't remember who the defender was. It might have been Falk. But Patrick Kane is the guy who got back and shut down the play defensively. Really looked like it was one of those moments where it was going to go from a 1-goal game to a tie game. Kane made that defensive play. That, to me, that was the play tonight for Patrick Kane. That was the play that was like, oh shit, something's going on here with Patrick. Like, I think he might see like he might have a little bit of power here. And I threw out there too top line cooking because we're going to throw in DeBrincat and Comfort. And you already called out like, we don't have Cop. I'm seeing a DeBrincat and Kane that kind of feel like they've been let loose. And
I mean, those two guys have to be huge.
They do.
They've moved up the importance totem pole tenfold without Larkin, and I'm going to say Cop.
No, and I don't not want Cop in this lineup, but I think we absolutely have to pump the brakes on the devastating part is Dylan Larkin. I think Comfort has just proved to me that anybody could center those two, and it's going to come away looking silky smooth. I don't know. That's my hot take from that game.
Well, friend of the show, Jared, that's what I'm going to call you. He's friend of the show. Kane hasn't made a defensive play like that since he was on the Hawks. Fair.
100%.
And then I did want to throw one in there from Jim, just saying Shine shows more offense than Rass. Rass is quickly playing himself into, getting, is it amnesty clause in the NHL where you're just gone? That might be the NBA's term for it, but
is it the negative zone in DC Comics? Like,
yeah,
just fire this guy. Like, I don't ever need to see Rasmussen in a red. Like, for sure, you got to ice a team for the rest of the year. Injuries are getting in the way,
and he's not expensive, especially with the cap going up. But man, what a bum! What a 6'5" bum!
Like, you talk about this free agency class is going to be okay, just because the kids are still awake. This free agency class is going to be dog shit. But for a team that appears to have so many holes, there's going to be a lot of easily replaceable signings still available for the Wings. Mm-hmm. So I do like, there was a part of me that this week that just went, oh, right, we can't do any trades at the draft because we don't have a first round pick anymore. Like, we can't do exciting trades at the draft because those happen at the draft because somebody wants the first round pick in the draft. Okay. So that thought's done. But for a lot of teams, free agency is not going to be, I'm not going to say we're going to be excited, but for a lot of the whole NHL, free agency is not going to be exciting. But there's going to be some opportunity, at least for the Wings, to improve over the Michael Rasmussens, over the depth that we've had to call up. Like, I agree. Shiner, fun. Well, not going to count on him at all next season. Please, God, do not make us do that because he's fun. He is not great.
I think really what he is he's
good.
Just showing you how inept Rasmussen is. That's really what's going on.
Yeah, all 5'8" of them compared to
Sneezy thrown out there too since the Olympic break. Just guys elevating their play, and I think it's held sway with Larkin out as well. And he's name dropping Finney, Aljo, and Cat. I think Cat's a super obvious one. Sneezy loved that call out. But I think Aljo, and surprisingly, can I throw Sherrod out there? So I've seen Falk kind of trying to. I'm about to make a name for myself here. Like, he's out there playing like Gambit, and there's some wild risks out there, and I know he's got a goal, but maybe he's just taking a few extra risks because he knows that this team's having a hard time scoring goals. But hopefully he's like the rest of our defensive core, and he's got to get warmed up a little bit. He's got to get a little warmed up, and then he'll be a lockdown guy we can depend on there. But I did want to throw this out there, Matt. So in this last stretch of games, basically since the last time we had, we had the collapse against Florida, then we had an episode, podcast episode. So out of a possible, in that road trip, 8 points, we got 3. And we didn't know that a couple of those, well, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess you could shoehorn in the Calgary game, right? Out of that stretch, thank you, Calgary. I did not think that without Larkin and Kopp, we would have a game where we score 4 goals, let alone 5. And it just looks like our offense here is going to be tested a little bit because New Jersey 3, that's good. Florida eked out 3 against the depleted lineup, 1 against Tampa Bay playing their balls off. Dallas on the road, we got a cupcake and then 1 goal, and then Calgary came and did us a favor and made it feel like we have an offense. Matt, are you feeling we're going to be able to score enough goals here against Montreal, Boston, and Ottawa? Are we going to be like looking at those 4 games, knowing who was missing? And I'm trying not to include Calgary because I don't even know if they're a real NHL team. Is that as good as it could have been knowing who we were missing? Getting 3 out of 8 points.
There we go. Sorry, my whole screen just went black. 3 out of a possible 8. I guess
it's just we were so
give
like
context,
I know that this, okay, let me do this because I know our show is always so pessimistic, and it's because we've been burned season after season after season. So it's hard for us to kind of, feel like good times are right around the corner. But if you snuff out that Tampa Bay game, you beat the Devils, you should have gotten at least a point out of Florida. You mustered 1 out of Dallas, and then you crushed Calgary. So is there a version of this where you can feel like trying your heart of hearts not to be a Red Wings ranter? Is there a version of this where we can feel optimistic that we actually did beat some bad teams like we were supposed to? The hockey gods smiled on us and frowned on us, so we kind of got a trade-off there and 1 blowout loss. Is this reason to be optimistic?
So what I was going to say before I was asked a question and then rudely interrupted,
you're welcome,
was to provide some context to like my thought process here, because Mike, I texted you last week and said, if we lose all of these games up until next week's episode, I had a show idea.
Okay.
I was like, let's just launch an episode. It'll be completely rebranded and it will just be Pistons talk, top to bottom. We won't even mention that it was a joke.
We're so
we won't even mention that it was a joke. And we would just say like, all right, cool. That was fun. All right, see you guys later. And then that would be that. And I took that off the table, Mike, on the 14th when we caught up to Dallas and lost in overtime.
Okay.
So the reason I added that context was just like, I thought it was hopeless. I really thought there was a chance that we would come out of Dallas just so defeated that Calgary would see the blood, right? They would be the shark compared to, it's really tough to use like shark metaphors with the San Jose Sharks existing in the NHL, but Calgary would smell the blood in the water.
Their tendrils all over a game, like a big old kraken. Oh, never
mind. But yeah, Calgary would smell the blood in the water. They would want to come in, get a win. And honestly, we were kind of going back and forth there for a second. I would come back to that Patrick Kane defensive play to make sure that we lock that sucker down. But so I guess I'm saying it was as bad as Calgary's roster is right now. It mentally probably would have been possible. But again, I took that Pistons episode, I took it right off the table on the 14th. And the fear's not gone. They didn't eliminate all risk of making it into the playoffs, but because of that game, because of the fight, and then, now we've got on the 16th here, a little bit of offense came back as a part of what we can bring to the table.
Well,
but with all that,
let's say this
combined,
like if you want to give Calgary a little bit of credit, we do like the publications in the Athletic, and I think they had their goaltenders ranked above ours in terms of goals stopped above expected. So we don't want to totally smoke Calgary, but because arguably it's people outside of us, like a national perspective, saying, their goaltending kind of has something going on. And we put on a few goals, put on a little offense.
So I guess I'll just wrap up here and just say, yeah, you did better than where I initially thought we were going to be. Rolling the clock back a week to our last episode, I was truly defeated. The Tampa Bay game did nothing to make me feel good. And I really did think we'd be talking this week, doing a full Pistons episode. So, let's not forget either. Dallas didn't have a Mikko Rantanen, but nobody's nobody's going to be healthy all the time. And game
Okay.
situations are going to be different day to day. And I don't know. I guess I know what you mean by let's not be Red Wing ranty, let's not be so super negative. I
Yeah.
can't be super positive because it seems like every time I turn around, we're officially ninth in the conference in points percentage.
Yeah.
We still don't have our first round pick. There isn't going to be a savior coming our way through free agency. There won't be a trade to be made at the NHL draft this year because we traded our first round pick to get Justin Falk, who doesn't necessarily so far look like a guy you would invest so much of your future into.
He's not quite a Quinn. We'll say that.
But we're at the point right now that we're at. Technically, we have the 8th playoff spot. We have a great opportunity against Montreal and Boston. I've removed this is hopeless at this point. I'm going to dig in really hard to playoffs need to happen to find some joy because this offseason is going to probably suck. But if things don't quite go our way on Thursday, or if we combine that into Thursday, Saturday, and next Tuesday, man, Mike, I will tell you, everybody strap in for the March 25th episode of Red Wings Rant / podcast coming out on the 26th, because that, Mike, will be a doozy. But right now, I'm feeling like we could win against Montreal. I have no problem saying these are winnable games, regardless of home or away.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that 27th game against the Buffalo Sabres, who now look like world beaters and Stanley Cup contenders. We're all stuck in this messy middle. Montreal, Boston, Ottawa, we're all stuck there. They're better than Calgary. Solid performance from John Gibson. And let me come back to this slide, because I did want to mention too, like, you did this against Calgary. Falk, 30 seconds in, gives up a horrible turnover. A couple of bad pinches, both lead to goals for Calgary. That's got to go. 0 of that. 0. Okay. No Dylan Larkin, no Andrew Copp. But 0 of this. 0 of the, what I'm, again, for podcast listeners, bad pinches, bad turnovers. 0 of that through these next 3 games. Come away with 2 wins. I'm all about it. I'm back in 1,000%.
All right, Matt's back in. Let's hit a few comments here. Ken, this is probably comment of the, I don't know if just the episode. This might be comment of the year. Ken saying one of Kane's bonuses is making the playoffs. He plans on collecting. Ken, you just got a producer credit for that one. Love that comment. It also explains quite a bit with the recent performance here. Jared, friend of the show, saying it was called the Phantom Zone. That's what we were trying to think of. That I think it's Spider-Man. It's the negative zone. That's what you're thinking of with Mr. Lee. I think his name is.
Is it? Okay.
It might be. J-Dub, welcome. He was just tagging in with your free agency comment. Free agency is dead. It is if you think that you are getting a big game changer. If you're filling in your roster, be my guest. Hey, Emily's back. Emily, welcome. Saying it was implied that the Sabres finally bonded and started work together after drinking together enough. Whiskey, a little help here. Yeah, whiskey and wings. Get out there, give those wings some whiskey. Let's see some bonding moments for our boys. The Sober Heathen, welcome. Saying Finney gonna be a star. Ooh, okay. Yeah, because he's again, that's a couple times he's been mentioned here since the Olympic break. Just giving him his flowers, his due flowers.
I think I would want Finney to be a local star. And by that, I mean we have such a strong lineup. He's actually in our bottom 6, and every now and then his speed can turn in some offense. I don't think there's a top line left winger there. Jim throws out there, we need to go at least 5-2-1 at home and go 3-3 on the road, which would give us 99 points. Jim, if we do that, God damn. Yeah, let's go. You tell me that's happening right now.
I like
I'm
that
relaxed.
recipe a lot.
I'm done.
Yeah, I like that recipe a lot. I don't know how feasible it is with this current roster. But Revs, welcome, saying shine greater than Asmussen. Love that a lot.
Man, he is so toast. Rasmussen is just done. And I don't know. There's no chance of us like having to stomach that again. There's no way he sticks on this roster after this season.
No. Emily also thrown in, will Mr. Falk accept third line money in 2 years? If not, get the first back at the draft. Yeah, give us that back.
Yo, all right, Emily. I don't hate it at all.
I don't think he's going to have a choice. He can't keep making jabroni moves like he did against Calgary if he wants to get that last bag of money before he rides off into the sunset, getting like the Van Riemsdyk kind of contracts. So if I were him, I would probably play a lot better here, knowing he's on borrowed time. Thanks, Jared. So Matt's back in, but what about the droid attack on the Wookiees? Okay, Matt, that joke did nothing for you. Jared, no longer friend of the show, mortal enemy.
Is that like an actual line from Revenge of the Sith, or
is it? It's back in.
No, the Wookiee part.
I figured it was the Wookiee part, also the droid attack.
I'm sorry, I was teasing because you said the back end part.
Jim also thrown out their hockey buzz, and Eklund projected the Wings get 102 points. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Man, so we're getting Larkin back, Kopp back, and Pavel Datsuk's going to show up with a gong like the Undertaker if that's happening. 102 points. My God. Oh, no. Blake has returned from the darkness, from the hole with which he came, just to drop a comment that he defeated Matt in fantasy hockey. Thank you, Blake.
From the hole with which he came, he spanked Matt's cheeks that cover his own hole. All right.
Not since Timothy Chalamet in the Ping Pong movie have two butt cheeks been smacked around quite like those have been. Thank you, Blake, for helicoptering in on that one.
Blake says 102 points. Woo! Oh, boy.
It's easy to say when you're wearing a custom autographed Ben Sherratt jersey. Isn't that right, Blake?
Jared throwing out there, Wings going to get 102 points and still miss. Woo!
Yeah.
Man, that. You guys, the hot takes.
You guys have been around this show for a while, huh? All right. Well, how are we doing on the slides, Matt?
Not good.
Because a lot of these episodes, like leading up to the end of the season, it's just kind of biting our nails. Watching as the standings evolve around us. Again, it's nerve-wracking, right, to see that we're in 9th and could very quickly just completely tumble out of the playoff picture. But it's, in a way, I don't know if I want to use the word comforting, but the opportunity is literally right there. There's an opportunity just tomorrow. Or if you're listening to this on Thursday, there's an opportunity tonight to save the season, to make it feel like Steve burned a first-round pick for a good reason.
Do you know, the opportunity is always out there, and there's an opportunity to prove yourself at all times, Mike. And why not do it by using our promo code for DraftKings? So strap in and learn a little bit more about that promo.
Spinoramas, Michigan goals, and those heart attack Cam Talbot sprawls across the crease. If you're living and dying with every Red Wings highlight like we are, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered. They're an official sports betting partner of the NHL, and they're making the action even sweeter. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Yes, the same feeling as watching Lucas Raymond pick a corner, but for your wallet. So do what we do every game night. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-7897-777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, pass-through of per wager. Tax may apply. In Illinois, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
I felt like it was a little bit longer than normal.
Yeah, hurry up, AI. Lord.
Dan B thrown out there. Someone said it in the Discord. Relegate the Pacific Division. Aye. Yeah, I actually, like, I had my own come to Jesus moment where I'm like challenging Steve and his aggressiveness, and we have 82 points, and I'm like, look at what Pat Verbeek's doing over there in Anaheim. And I'm totally forgetting that they only have 77 points and they're in the worst division in hockey. Also, one of the few playoff teams that has a worse goal differential than us. Of course, the Red Wings holding on to that -3, and Anaheim at -10. And Seattle coming in hot with a -12. Woo! All right.
Let me ask you a question here about this hockey team, man.
Wait, that's not in the slides.
Oh, me asking you a question? No.
Mike asks Matt a question.
We didn't time for this at all. When I harken back to a comment that we were really amused by Simon Edvinson, who attended a Detroit Pistons game and just mentioned, the grit and the effort and the stinginess on defense and come into play, on a regular season game. Doesn't mean that much in the grand scheme. But every time you play the Pistons this season, you feel like, my God, we're in for a war in game 64. These playoffs are immediately, urgently on the line. Every single face-off and period for the Detroit Red Wings. Now, I'm dialing in tomorrow because this Red Wing team should just be completely dialed in. Do you have confidence that we're going to get that kind of performance out of them? Where even if they don't come away with a win, that you're going to see some Red Wings just firing on all cylinders, like trying to make this happen, even though they are shorthanded. So, I know that we joked about Kane getting that playoff bonus. I think it's just interesting that now that, we're going to talk about non-San Jose Sharks again. It's like Kane could kind of smell that playoff blood, and that kind of like woke up his whole body, that inner, two-way forward that he's seemingly been keeping under, a bushel basket. The only other comp I could think of was like LeBron James, who, as he ages into his age 40-ish season, only turns up the defense when it's playoff time. But the Lakers have ascended, Matt. So I feel like we're getting it out of Patrick. Are we going to get it out of the rest of this Red Wing team? What are we going to see tomorrow? Are we going to see a team that hasn't made the playoffs? Are we going to see a team that hasn't made the playoffs in ages with something huge to play for tomorrow against a peer? What are we going to see?
I don't think we have any evidence that suggests we would see anything but just a regular old normal style hockey game. If anybody can tell me when they've seen different, please let me know, because what I've seen now, I'm not done. Let me finish my thought. But what we've seen in the last few years is like
go ahead.
Adversity, quit out of the playoffs. What we need to see is what you described. And for all the things I said, I want to see 2 wins out of these next few games. If I saw that team that you just described, I would be more bought in. But it does feel like my fandom and my ability to care for these players, care for this team, and be bought in relies on wins and losses, because I don't have much else to point to that says that the effort, the blood, sweat, and tears are there. Because you're right. We can watch the Pistons, and I could see Beef Stew getting into it with Bickerstaff, and it's because they both care so much, and they both want to win, and they'll be down by 20. But I'm sitting there having a good time watching Beef and Bickerstaff going at it. And then Jalen Duren's grabbing Beef and pulling him down to the bench because he knows he needs Beef to stay in the game because they got a game to win. And you see Cade going to the net hard, not just flopping like every other guard in the NBA, because he knows that's how the Pistons are going to win. So I care about that team. And we've invested so much time, Mike, in the Red Wings.
Years of our lives.
Yes. Watching this stuff, talking about it, making friends here with the chat. And I'm glad that you guys have joined the Discord so that we can all be closer buddies. Met some of you guys at the Red Wings games. Like, we've invested a lot into this team. And I haven't seen a ton of evidence that there is the team that's going to get bloody for the win. We saw it. You know what? We did see it when Dylan Larkin got his head lopped off and Perron came to save the day, punched a guy in the back of the head, pulled a Todd. I almost said Tyler, but pulled a Todd Bertuzzi. That was good, but you kind of want to be the team that starts it off. You kind of want to be the Brady Tkachuk team that's storming their way into the playoff conversation. And the Florida Panthers that just make you bleed from the first period drop of the puck. You have brought up a great point as to why, where does the passion come from and what makes you care about a team? And that's why I care so much about this year's Detroit Pistons, is that blood, sweat, and tears that goes into every game.
Yeah.
But all that being said, we don't have evidence that this team can do that. We don't. That's it. We don't have that evidence. If anybody wants to fight back, and Jared, if you just want to come out and say, well, we have Perron. Not a team. If that team shows that they're just going to beat the shit out of Lane Hudson tomorrow, and they're going to make him bleed because they got to make sure that their best defender isn't available for the rest of the season. Not that we really want that. We kind of want that. But if they're going to be that team tomorrow, I don't even need 3 wins. I don't need 2 wins over the next 3 games. I just need a team that's going to destroy these like your playoff rivals. It's never been more within our grasp to make it to the playoffs. And you've never had a chunk of games like this with multiple teams where you could really affect your position going into the last month of the season. That's how I feel about it. If they could come out and be the Detroit Pistons, be the bad boys of the NHL, I don't even need them to win 2 games. I just want to see the passion and the push, because I think what we see a lot of is the opposite.
So I think
how long did that go?
The question,
10 minutes?
No, the question with the scarier answer. Well, maybe it's not as scary if you believe. I was thinking back to like other games we've watched this season where we were a little bit higher in the standings, and it kind of felt like we were proud, and we were shopping for Red Wing tickets and wearing our jerseys a little more frequently. That game where we got absolutely bombed by Colorado, and then in the rematch, we blocked 17 shots. Got credit for 17 blocks, but it felt like 100. And we shut out Colorado on the road 2-0. which I don't know if this roster that's necessarily like the most repeatable recipe for success, but that was a game that made me think, oh, maybe things are a little bit different this year. Obviously, it's going to be hard to kind of replicate that. I think Lucas was a little bit healthier then, and obviously we had Larkin and Kopp. We also had Soderblom at that time. I miss my beautiful boy.
He scored a goal for Pittsburgh.
I bet he did, and it's first time. I think that the question I was going to ask you that might have a scarier answer is, do these Red Wings possess the character to win these games? And I'm going to answer first. And it's just, I know it's in there. I don't know what McClellan's got to do to like shake it out of these guys, but it's like you just want to show them that Colorado tape, because that was one of the only times in maybe the last 3-4 years that I was like proud of this team. The other one being when they scored that incredible overtime goal when they missed the playoffs by a point. Was that 2 seasons ago?
Mm-hmm.
Because it looked like they actually cared and they were right there, and they knew it was going to be bleak. They still tried, got in. Last second goal. So the moments where I was like proud to be a Wings fan, there was one against Colorado. There could be others, but I think that kind of performance, it wasn't a dominating offensive performance. Colorado still dominated possession, but we were just like, no, you're not getting any goals today, and you're just going to pepper our soft jersey wearing bodies with hockey pucks, but they're not going to touch any net tonight. And it was incredible. It was a game that did remind me of the Piston effort that we've seen on a nightly basis from Detroit.
No, that's a good answer of like, there's something there. Maybe like, the pride was on the line there, right? And get your butt spanked. And now the difference here is like, you're in it. You're the target for a playoff spot. I mean, they're all targeting each other, but you're the target. Can you come out and bloody some knuckles with some teeth?
Emily has an idea for that, by the way. She says ASP needs some football shoulder pads and a bigger cup. Yeah, for his big old ASP dog.
Jeez. I was gonna back to the conversation about just seeing like the passion and the effort. JWT throws out there 102 points and miss. Not sure I could even be mad. That's kind of what I'm talking about too. Like that there's elements of that in my argument of like being passionate, putting it all on the ice, being that team that another team is like afraid to see the next night, and unfortunately still losing, but coming out there hot, hard forecheck, blocking shots like you mentioned, Mike. I want to see, man, use those shoulders, man. Put some people into boards. Make them hurt. Make them realize like, oh, shoot, if you're going to beat us, if you're going to get into the playoffs, you literally have to make this as physical as possible. Start with Montreal, scare Boston, and come in hot against Boston like that. That's what we need to see. That's what I want to see.
Well, D Docs saying, "Smile, Mike, you grumpy SOB." I have resting grump face. You could thank our dad Paul for that one. But I did want to hit on one of Jim's comments here. He was saying, "Are you talking about character over talent?" Was that a gasp over there, Jim? Well, Jim, I
think it's a combo of both. Is the problem.
I think Matt and I have been just desperately, throwing our arms to the heavens, just asking for talent and, getting involved with trades where we can. That option is no longer available this season, Jim. We got what we got. So it's almost like by default, you're going to have to character this one into the playoffs.
But Jim, I would challenge you on that, because our example was the Detroit Pistons, and they have 2 All-Stars and an MVP. So I don't know if I don't know if I'm essentially asking for more character
Swiss
over
Army
talent.
Uncle T. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean that's it. That's it. If for comparison's sake, I'm looking for an MVP with a lot of character.
Yes.
I don't know if that's on our team. There was a great comment here that gets us a little off track, but maybe it makes sense. One of them was make sure Asp gets back in the lineup, but there's another call out.
You're not gonna get any pushback from me on that one.
Another call out, Mike, for some potential offense is we have two of the top 4 Hobie Baker candidates this year. Trey Augustine, we're all familiar with. We really thought maybe some goalie trades were coming into play here, especially with like an Edmonton Oilers team that desperately needs some goaltending. But no, Trey Augustine, one of those names. The other, Max Plant. Wouldn't mind seeing Max Plant getting a shot. Montreal tried that last year. Obviously, maybe a guy a little bit bigger and a little bit more talented than Max Plant, but you're starving for some offensive talent, and there's a reason that Max Plant's in the Hobie Baker conversation. Is he's a guy that maybe you're bouncing pucks off his teeth every now and then, but he's shown a lot of skill this year. I don't know why, unless I'm missing something. If there's something about like how old he is and what year he's in and college, which we know you could bring in junior guys, so. But if there's something I'm missing there, I don't know why this wouldn't be a conversation the second that he's available. I would want to see if there's maybe some magic there, bring a little bit more offense. But I do think there's a conversation too, like a more realistic one about Asp. And while you're starving for some offense, why we haven't tried that yet. I don't know if Jacob Bernard Docker has shown me anything in this stretch of games where he's taken the spot.
He's just shown McClellan that he's so wildly out of place on every defensive potential opportunity that he's just not going to get minutes anymore. So, okay, well, there you go.
Well, we're all out of slides. I did want to make sure we mentioned the Max Plant and Trey Augustine. Pretty fun. I think what is that? They start their little tournament, their cute little college hockey tournament. Does that start next week?
That could be. I did want to throw in J-Dub was also trying to jump in on the talent discussion. Just saying the Wings need the next level of talent. Just throwing out there Matthews, Pasta Thompson are in the division, at least for now when it comes to Matthews. Yeah, I mean, again, you've been listening to this show for years. Matt and I are literally dying for more talent on this team, but that's not how we're going to win tomorrow. We're not going to out talent Montreal tomorrow without two of arguably our more important players, and I say arguably because I'm throwing Cop in there.
I mean, I've said this a million times, but
out character them.
Yeah, cold take here is Quinn Hughes would have been number one out of those 5 names if he was a part of the conversation.
Maybe another Hall of Fame defenseman will become available next offseason. And
I hope they want a bunch
we've learned our lesson picks. Now we know next time when there is a potential Hall of Fame defenseman in his youth at a reasonable contract with a little bit of term left on it, we do trade for him. Now we know. See, we didn't know before. Now we know. There you go. Every day you learn and you get a little bit better. Is that going to be the coda to this episode? Maybe tomorrow the Red Wings will learn and get a little bit better and bring home a tasty 2 points against Montreal.
I'm going to throw out there Montreal's your best bet.
Okay.
I'm worried about. I mean, it's going to be goalie versus goalie. I feel like in Boston. And then I'm always scared of Ottawa.
Could you make the case that in these next 2 games we have the better goalie? No, Matt. John Gibson, huh? He's still kicking ass. Huh?
Absolutely not against Boston.
Matt, John Gibson, come on. You gotta give us something.
Montreal just called up Fowler in his first game. It's Fowler, right? His first game was a shutout. And then I think he gave up 4 goals in the next game. But yeah, then Swayman. No, I don't know. We're really far. I feel like we can compete.
You take Swayman over Gibson? Not for his
Every
career.
day.
I'm saying for this season.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt.
I'm gonna have to make you a nice spreadsheet of his numbers since like December 10th.
Of Gibson's numbers?
Yeah.
As bad as like Ottawa's goaltending has been, I feel like
Uh-huh.
Swayman's been the difference for Boston.
Okay. I'm not gonna push too hard on this. I'm trying to give us a little bit of hope here going into the weekend.
I think the difference is marginal. I would take Swayman 100 times out of 100. And I think there's enough there in the sport of hockey and John Gibson for that game to be like 2-1 going in the third. You have a chance to either tie it up. Maybe you're winning 2-1. That game absolutely will be 2-1 going into the third period. I guarantee it.
Matt, let's do this. We got to sign off. We're at an hour, and all we've done is worry. Prediction for tomorrow. What do you got?
I think we're gonna lose in overtime.
Oh no, Matt! I'm gonna say we have a character win. Give me a character win.
Jared, Matt hates Wings players. Confirmed.
Jared, comment of the episode. Love it. Are you guys predicting victory tomorrow? Are we going to see some Red Wing character? Give me a recipe for a win against a real team, like a non-Calgary. It's going to be low scoring. Give me 2-1 Red Wings.
Oh wait,
TLJ.
Tomorrow's 2-1.
Yeah.
All right. Saturday also goes to overtime.
Saturday is
we win on Saturday.
Saturday we put a 4 spot on Swayman. We beat him 4-1. Boom.
Wow. Just to make me look like
two character wins. There you go.
And then Ottawa, we lose 7-2.
Emily said Gibson shit out. I don't know what that means, but I like it.
I think it's shut out, but
I like shit out. I'm gonna start saying that. I like shit out. Whiskey saying adios. Hopefully not outside of a playoff spot by showtime next week. Caulfield has 5 OT goals. I'm just trying to sprint through our comments here as we kind of wrap up this episode. Something about putting on that Habs jersey causes goalies to play way above their level. J-Dub, we will see. Who's leading the charge for character?
It better not be David Perron. And I don't say that to mean like we don't want people or we don't want this roster to emulate like his style. Not saying that at all. I'm saying don't let it be the guy you just traded for. Have it be one of your pillars. Set the example for the rest of this team. Let your foundation show the rest of this team what we got to do over the next week.
I think it's going to be Copp. I think he's going to go out there. He's going to be out there
from sitting next to Steve.
He's going to be like, no, he's going to be out there like playoff Yzerman 20 years ago, man. He's going to be out there on one leg, and the Copper's going to bring one home for us.
Jared's guess, Paul Boyer. You know what?
Jesus.
Great Lord Jason, good one. He's thrown out there. Dom Shine. Why not? Jim thrown out there. Raymond needs to show up.
Emily, don't even worry about the AI autocorrect. A shit out is easily my new favorite phrase that we're keeping in this show until it's over.
Hashtag shit out.
Hashtag shit out. I don't think the kids are saying shit out anymore. Or hashtag, Jesus.
Well, how would I know? I'm old.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah.
A lot of grace coming in. All right, guys. I guess we'll be in the Discord tomorrow to go over this monumental character victory tomorrow.
Oh, one more thing. I'm gonna, Mike. You should join. I know it hasn't quite worked out in the past, but we will be. Well, I'll be on the Sports Reel podcast next week if you guys want to check them out. They are. How do you pull up just an account without? Okay, it's
Jim
at.
is throwing some real knowledge, reminding us that he is the elder statesman at 72 of Red Wings.
Oh
Rant.
God, Jim, how'd you get your little mini TV to work that you're holding right now?
I didn't know we were on. I didn't know we were on AM radio, Jim. That's pretty cool.
But yeah, we'll be on Sports Real Podcast. That's at Sports Real PFC next Tuesday.
All right. And last comment, Jared saying Matt's kids are gonna say shit out now.
I got Teddy asked me the other day, why can't I say fuck? And I could not stop laughing.
Did you have an answer or just more giggling? Because that'll definitely stop him from saying that.
I had a great answer. I said, never say that in front of your mom.
Wow. Matt,
it's a good answer. You know what? We're doing this.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. Because I gave him a boundary, right? And I also made it like,
yeah, but the boundary is
not that it's not that bad.
There's no bad words. It's just how you use
them,
Teddy. Let's explain the nuance of context to a 5-year-old. Jesus. That's all right. That's irreparable damage that will follow him for the next 60 years.
And you hear my wife running down the stairs now with her.
Hey, my dad said I could say Teddy fuck all day. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Well, you fuckers, hope you have a good shit out tomorrow watching the Red Wings Montreal game.
Jared says Mike's got video blackmail on me now. All right. Well, hey, you know what? You won't catch us on the Sports Real podcast now because I'll be dead. All right. See you guys later.
Shit out.